There's a certain stillness in the way the morning light creeps through the blinds, casting thin golden stripes across the hardwood floor of our bedroom. It's a quiet I've come to cherish, a fleeting moment before the world wakes up and demands my attention. My name's Parker. I'm 43, and I've spent the better part of my life building something steady, something I can hold on to. I'm not a man of grand gestures or wild dreams, but I've got a life that feels like it fits most days, at least. I've been married to Elise for 15 years now. She's the kind of woman who can light up a room without even trying. At 41, she still has this effortless way about her. A smile that can pull me out of my own head when I'm too deep in thought. We've carved out a little corner of the world in our suburban home just outside Raleigh, with a backyard that's more weeds than grass, but it's ours. Elise and we've got a rhythm. Mornings are for coffee on the porch when the weather's kind. Her teasing me about my inability to keep a plant alive while I pretend to be offended. Afternoons are for the grind me at my desk, managing accounts for a logistics firm, and her running her small online boutique, packaging orders with a precision I'll never understand. And the evenings, well, those are for us. There's a warmth in the way we settle into the couch, her legs draped over mine, a glass of wine in hand as we talk about nothing and everything. Sometimes those nights stretch into something more intimate, a quiet dance of closeness that I won't spell out here. It's a lazy Saturday afternoon, and I'm pacing around the living room of our little suburban home just outside Raleigh, feeling that itch of restlessness I can't quite shake. The house is too quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you notice every creak of the floorboards. Elise is in one of her chess moods, striding back and forth near the dining table, muttering to herself about Sicilian defenses and pawn structures, her brow furrowed in that intense way I've always found oddly endearing. I can't keep up with her when she gets like this, so I figure we need a third wheel to break the monotony. I grab my phone and dial Nathan, an old college buddy who's always up for a spontaneous hangout. His voice comes through bright and easy, that familiar drawl I've known for decades. And he's quick to say he'll swing by after his shift ends. Man, I haven't touched a chessboard in ages. He chuckles over the line. But I'm ready to give Elise a run for her money. I laugh, picturing her reaction to the challenge, and tell him to hurry over by 6 p.m. The doorbell chimes, and there's Nathan, standing on the porch with that same lopsided grin I remember from late-night study sessions back in the day. He clasps my hand in a firm shake, his grip as steady as ever, and steps inside, already cracking a joke about how I haven't changed a bit. Elise perks up from the couch, her eyes lighting up at the prospect of a real opponent, and I can't help but smile at her enthusiasm. We settle into the living room, where the chessboard is already set up. I'm leaning against the armrest of the couch, watching the chess game unfold with a mix of amusement and detachment. The tension between Elise and Nathan has been building, with every move, the clack of pieces against the board punctuating the otherwise quiet room. At first, it was all playful banter, but now Nathan's starting to take control. His knight just cornered one of Elise's bishops, and I can see her smirk fading, replaced by a tight-lipped frustration that makes her jaw clench. Her fingers hover over the board, hesitating, and I can almost feel the gears turning in her mind as she searches for a way out. Nathan, on the other hand, sits back with a quiet confidence, his eyes flicking up to meet hers with a glint of triumph. I shake my head, deciding I need a break from the intensity, and head to the kitchen to grab another beer. As I pop the cap off the bottle, the cold glass chilling my palm, I hear something shift in their conversation. Elise's voice drops low, almost playful, a tone I haven't heard from her in a while, not like this, anyway. Nathan lets out a nervous chuckle, the kind that sounds more uncertain than amused. My curiosity piques, and instead of heading straight back, I lingered just out of sight in the doorway, peering into the living room. What I see makes my grip tighten around the bottle. Elise has abandoned the game mid-move, her chair pushed back, as she stands. She walks over to Nathan, who's still seated, and places her hand on his shoulder with a deliberate slowness that sends a jolt through me. My stomach twists as her fingers trail down his arm, lingering in a way that's far too personal, far too intimate for just a friendly gesture. I'm frozen, my breath catching in my throat, unable to process what I'm witnessing. She leans in close, her lips near his ear, whispering something I can't make out, a curved voice, a soft murmur that feels like a dagger in my chest. Before I can even think to move or speak, she takes his hand, pulling him up from the chair with a confident tug that leaves no room for hesitation. I stumble back from the doorway, my heart pounding so hard I'm sure they can hear it, but I can't stay hidden any longer. My legs feel like lead as I force myself to move, following them as Elise leads Nathan out of the living room and up the stairs. Each step I take feels heavier, like I'm wading through quicksand, my mind a chaotic mess of disbelief and dread. They don't even glance back, as if I'm not even here, as if I don't exist in this moment. The hallway stretches endlessly before me, and by the time I reach the bedroom door, they're already inside. I hesitate, my hand trembling on the knob, before pushing it open just enough to slip through. The bedroom is a dim sanctuary, or at least it used to be. The bedside lamp casts a soft amber glow across the room, barely illuminating the space, leaving shadows clinging to the corners. The sheets on the bed are still crumpled from this morning, a messy reminder of my own negligence. And the faint hum of the air conditioner buzzes in the background, doing nothing to ease the suffocating heat of my panic. I sink onto the edge of the bed, my hands gripping the mattress so tightly my knuckles turn white, anchoring myself as the world tilts beneath me. I can't tear my eyes away from them. Elise steps closer to Nathan, her movements slow, almost predatory. Each gesture calculated, as if she's been planning this for longer than I can fathom. Her voice cuts through the silence, soft yet commanding, a tone that sends a shiver down my spine. "Kiss my neck," she murmurs, her words hanging heavy in the air. My breath catches, shallow and ragged, as I watch Nathan hesitate for just a heartbeat. His eyes flicker with uncertainty, but then he leans in, his lips brushing against the curve of her neck in a way that makes my chest constrict. It's a slow, deliberate motion, and I feel every second of it like a punch to the gut. Betrayal and fear twist together inside me, a toxic knot that threatens to unravel me completely. But I can't speak. I can't move, rooted to this spot, watching this nightmare unfold right in front of me. Elise and Nathan stay locked in that intimate embrace, their closeness a silent blade twisting deeper into my chest. It feels like an eternity, though. I know it's probably just a minute, maybe less. But every second stretches out, torturing me with the reality I can't escape. My heart is hammering so hard I'm sure it's going to burst right through my ribs, each beat a thunderous echo in my ears. My thoughts are a storm, anger surges hot and raw, burning through me, while humiliation creeps in cold, making me feel small, insignificant. And then there's this strange, paralyzing fear gripping me tight, whispering what-ifs in my mind. What happens if I open my mouth? What happens if I shatter this suffocating silence with the rage boiling inside me? I don't know if I'm more afraid of their reaction or of hearing my own voice break under the weight of this betrayal. Finally, Elise pulls back, her movements slow, almost deliberate, as if she's savoring every moment of my torment. Her gaze locks onto mine again, and I search her eyes for anything that might show regret or shame. But there's nothing, just a cold, piercing satisfaction, like she's won some twisted game I didn't even know we were playing. She doesn't say a word to me, and somehow that silence screams louder than any excuse or justification ever could. It's a void that swallows me whole, leaving me gasping for air. Nathan, meanwhile, can't even meet my eyes. His head is bowed, his stare fixed on the floor like a scolded child, and I can see the discomfort in the way his shoulders hunch. But he doesn't speak up, doesn't push back against her. He's complicit, and that cuts just as deep. The room falls into a suffocating hush after that, broken only by the uneven rasp of my own breathing. It's like the air itself is pressing down on me, heavy with the weight of what I've just witnessed. I feel trapped in this moment, unable to move forward or backward, just stuck in the wreckage of my own life. Then the next morning, I wake up on the couch, my neck stiff from the awkward angle I've been curled into all night. I couldn't bring myself to step foot in the bedroom after everything. The house is eerily quiet, the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to shatter it. There's no hum of life, no clatter of dishes or murmur of the radio just a void that presses against my ears. I sit up slowly, rubbing the sleep from my eyes, and glance toward the kitchen. Elise is already there, sitting at the table with a mug of coffee in her hands, steam curling lazily into the air. She looks so calm, so untouched by last night, as if it never happened. In front of her, the chessboard is set up again, pieces aligned for a solo game, like she's plotting her next move against an invisible opponent. My stomach churns at the sight. I force myself to stand, my legs shaky beneath me, and shuffle toward her. Each step feels like I'm dragging a weight behind me, the memory of what I saw still burning raw in my mind. I stop a few feet away, my hands clenching at my sides, and try to find the words. My voice comes out thin, trembling, barely above a whisper. Elise, what was last night? What was that about? I hate how small I sound, how desperate, but I can't help it. I need some explanation, some shred of remorse to make sense of the wreckage. She doesn't flinch. Her eyes lift from the board to meet mine, and there's this unflinching, icy stare that pins me in place. Her lips curve just slightly, not a smile, but something colder, more calculated. I want to do this more often, Parker, she says, her voice steady, almost casual, like she's discussing the weather. I'm not going to hold back anymore. I like it when you watch. Each word lands like a blow, sharp and heavy, knocking the air out of me. I feel my chest tighten, my throat go dry as I stand there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.